Hey, everybody. It's me, Jake, from Jake and Off, the podcast you're listening to right now. Thanks so much again for tuning into another episode. This week, I am joined by a Jake and Off fave. It is Evan Christian Goldt, everybody. Give him a round of applause. Wahoo! We had a fun time. We joked. We laughed. We talked. All the things that podcasts are known for. If you want to follow Evan, follow him at Evan C. Goldt on Instagram, and check out the show at the Emerald on September 3rd. And as always, guys, please like and subscribe, share this podcast with your friends, follow us on Instagram at jaken.off.podcast, and send anything at all to jaken.off.podcast@gmail.com. Without further ado, enjoy the episode. Have a good listen to the episode. I would somehow divert us into the podcast so that we could start. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like it goes without saying, like, of course, that's not going to be in there. But is it kind of fucked up to do to people? Like,
I wouldn't say it's fucked up. I would just
point that into your mouth.
I probably already knew that too.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've done your show.
I've kind of been doing it a little bit like that lately. I've been like
that's
little
what
less
Pete Holmes
clear.
does.
But the thing is,
You Made It Weird, he starts recording like before they even maybe realize.
Yeah.
And then he just explains to them, we're already recording.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are like, okay. you know? But for the most part, people are like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Because usually the conversation they're having is interesting enough.
Right. And so that's kind of like the thing, you know, is like you come in here, like you and I are friends. We're already like chatting about stuff anyways. And so that's kind of the gist. And it always comes in mid-conversation, but I've never considered whether or not that's kind of fucked up to do to people. To just be like, bam, we've already been doing the podcast.
We've only just begun.
Yeah, so maybe I should reflect on some of my tactics. Dude, I start school again tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be nice, though. I'm almost done. I only have 2 semesters left. So.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Pretty sweet.
Then are you going to move to China?
No.
What are you thinking?
Probably just keep doing this.
Yeah.
But I'll have a degree so I can get a better job to fund doing this.
Yeah.
So.
Makes sense.
It's the whole plan.
Yeah,
and if I know Chinese, I can, like, move anywhere. So I'll take, like, there's this thing called, like, the HSK. It's, like, the Confucius Institutes of China. That are like around the world. I don't know if you know anything about those. They're just like Chinese cultural institutes.
Cool.
And you can take an exam there that basically like they will give you like a level of proficiency for your ability to speak Chinese language that then you could go like take to anywhere.
Yeah.
And be like, look at how well I can speak Chinese.
Yeah.
This exam is like sort of
it's like the LSATs or it's like the bar for
China. Kind of. And like they like come with like courses and stuff so that there's I mean like dude, like obviously I'm not even anywhere close to like
that level of proficiency.
I'm going to have to continue studying Chinese and stuff like that. And like, you know, I have this semester and next semester like to like take to continue learning and stuff, but then I'm going to have to like essentially like get into my own routine of like learning. I'm gonna like search out like some sort of club or something probably to like practice speaking Chinese or something like that. Like these are things that I'm gonna like have to consider if it's a skill that I actually want to like keep improving and stuff.
For sure.
And when I spend like a considerable amount of time and effort on it, I can like learn it and like I can get pretty decent at it, but then I take these gaps in between learning like summer or whatever, and I'm like, this is bad. So I have to like be a little more
keep
consistent.
it sharp. Yeah.
It's gonna be like a rough beginning of the semester.
You ever found like Chinese media that you like? Are there like Chinese TV shows or anything that you could like?
I haven't like sought it out super hard just because
I bet that
like,
could help.
I've listened to like some podcasts and stuff because
okay.
I end up listening to more stuff than I really watch. Like the stuff like when I'm watching TV, it's usually like when I'm like laying down or like getting like ready for bed.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like I'm watching TV. And that means that in an hour or two, I'm going to be asleep. You know what I mean? So, like, that's usually the way that I consume, like, TV shows. And so then most of the time, like, I'm not even, like, really, like, watching it. I'm just kind of, like, listening.
Yeah, that's me with a lot of TV shows. I'm listening to most of my media at this point because, like, I have video games I want to play.
Yeah, I have chess on my phone.
Yeah, Sudoku. Yeah. You know, and like I'm rewatching a lot of shit.
Yeah,
I'm rewatching so much of what I watch is rewatching.
100%, yeah.
And like I kind of like it. Honestly, it's like I have two relationships with media. People like, and I think people complain about no one can pay attention and sit down. They can if stuff is interesting. It's just like, are you going to sit down and pay attention to every single thing that you watch? No. Yeah. Like, why would I sit down and pay attention to the Garfield movie I threw on out of curiosity or whatever the fuck, you know?
Right. Like, how hard do I need to focus on The Secret Life of the American Teenager?
Right. If you were, like, throwing on There Will Be Blood for the first time and then sitting there playing, like, fucking Pikmin or whatever, that would be psychotic. That would be stupid, you know, because there's no dialogue for the first, like, 15 minutes of that movie almost. So, like, that's one thing. And when I do choose to, like, watch something and consume something new, then I'll do it.
Joe Nunnick and Mitchell Harmon got really upset at me during the pandemic because we were watching, it's got Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. Is it Lighthouse?
The Lighthouse.
Yeah, we were watching The Lighthouse.
Never saw it.
And I was like on my phone the entire time. Like I was not paying attention. The movie's fucking boring, dude. It's such a boring movie. And like, dude, it's one of those things where I felt like they were using it to shame me because I was like, I didn't really like it. Like, and they were like, you were on your phone the whole time. And it's like, well, dude, I was on my phone the whole time because it was a fucking shitty movie. And like, you know, I get it, dude. It's art or whatever. But like, is it really art that like cum is dripping through like fucking grates in this lighthouse? Like, I could have thought of that, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, no, dude. It fucking like there was so much symbolism, and I'm like, they barely said anything.
I used to work at an art movie theater, right? That played like exclusively shit like that, you know? And every once in a while you see one that like is supposedly very creative and you get in there and you're like, yes, this is creative. Like it is. Not everyone would think to let cum drip down a lighthouse with Willem Dafoe freaking out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's watchable or very good.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like you're judging just the fact that somebody was in a position to take creative risks and make avant-garde decisions at all against the fact that, well, at least it's not the Transformers. And it's like, well, ideally, it would still be better than it is.
Yeah.
You know?
And dude, I guess like my whole thing is they kept getting mad at me because they're like, you literally can't be looking at your phone and paying attention to the movie at the same time. I'm like, dude, guess what? I did that. The movie wasn't good. And admittedly, I'm sure, like, knowing myself, that I was saying way more than what I actually thought. Like, I was probably being a lot more inflammatory
about how bad it was
nice. Because I knew that it was pissing them off and that was like upsetting them a lot. But it's just not that good of a movie, and I
think that a lot of people's like praise that I've seen peripherally about this film is like it's about the visuals, it's about the aesthetic, the cinematography, the look of it. It looks like old Hollywood. It looks like, you know, old silent films and its framing and stuff. And that, yeah, exactly, that kind of shit is just not enough to sustain my interest. Like, if you can interpolate that level of like visual detail into a good story,
dude, you know what else they
like
say that about? Fucking Avatar, dude. One of the two, seriously, one of the like most ridiculous movie franchises The movie makes no sense. Nothing in the film like even adds up. It's like a terrible. Have you seen the new one?
I haven't seen either.
Beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Terrible acting. Every single actor in it deserves to be barred from acting ever again.
When did that first one come out?
Oh, dude,
7 or 9?
9/11.
It was either 2007 or 2009. It's one of those 2 years.
Avatar. I got it right here.
It's not anything else besides 2007.
2009.
Yeah. So 2009.
2009.
Yeah. So I was 16. And it just seemed so fucking boring to me. I just didn't give a shit. I was like, like it didn't look that interesting. I didn't get the hype on that level. I was like, I feel like there are video games that look that good to me. I don't have the best fucking eyes in the world. Who fucking cares?
Right.
And then, just on a story level, I was just like, I don't give a shit. And also, I don't know.
The first Avatar, it's fine.
Right.
It's fine, dude. It's not great. The stuff that they do with the CGI and shit is really cool.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time and effort and talent to do that stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The second film was literally, I mean, it is a tragedy that they made it and that James Cameron made Avatar 2 instead of stopping those people from going down to the Titanic. Because it's like
Are you
double,
saying that
it's
Avatar 2 should have imploded?
It's double bad. Yes, it's double bad what he did, because not only did he not save those people, but he cursed the rest of us by making Avatar 2. It's awful, dude. It's seriously terrible. But it's the same as The Lighthouse.
Yeah, they're the
same thing.
They're the same.
They're the same movie.
Yeah.
Might as well, dude. Okay, let's move on, because I meant to talk about this last week, but we just didn't get to it. But this is maybe one of the craziest things that I've ever read. So this article is from Vice News, but the title is "Fast Food Restaurant Sparks Outrage with Anne Frank Burger and Hitler Fries." Okay, dude. So we'll get down into this.
What do they think they're playing both sides?
This is in Argentina.
Of course, it's
So it's like the sordid history of Argentina and their connection to Nazis and Nazi Germany. Like, we don't need to get too into that to appreciate this story here. But the place is called Honky Donkey. I'm not even kidding. It's just what their fast food chain is called, Honky Donkey. And so obviously there's a bunch of public outrage. They have like all of these different food items named after various like dictators and stuff. So they have Honky Donkey, a local eatery in the small town of Rafaela in the Santa Fe province, offered the two options on their menu along with others named after Mongolian Genghis Khan, Chinese Communist Revolutionary Mao Zedong, and World War II era Italian fascist leader and Hitler ally Benito Mussolini. And so, yeah, you can like see this is the menu. This is what the menu looks like. They have the Benito. I can't read the words because they're all in Spanish, but Adolf, Genghis, Benito, Mao, they're all right there.
That says bacon.
Yeah, bacon.
Cheddar.
Yeah, so they're just food items.
There's bacon on the Adolf.
Yeah, but what my favorite thing...
So that it's not kosher. They're honoring his legacy.
Dude, so my favorite thing, though, is after this restaurant gets... like called out, they apologized, of course, soon after.
Wait, that to me is just like, you did. You're gonna.
So, but here's what they said. Soon after, Honky Donkey apologized for the menus in their Instagram story, according to screenshots posted by local media, and announced that they would rename the items after defenders of peace and human rights like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Dalai Lama, Barack Obama, Teresa de Calcutta. Basically, they just keep going on and naming like various people of peace, and I'm like, think it's so funny to have a Martin Luther King Jr. burger or something like that. It's like, dude,
and what was it before?
Like,
it's not like they're gonna change recipes. It's like the Mussolini is just now the Martin Luther King, but somebody's gonna be like, I know what I'm eating. That's fucking insane.
It's so crazy, dude. But I think that it's almost just.
We gotta go though, right?
Yeah, dude, I gotta try.
Let's get to Argentina now.
I gotta try the Gandhi fries. It's just such a funny reaction, though, to be like, all right, you guys don't like this. We're hearing you, and what we're hearing is you want
Obama?
Yeah, you want a chicken sandwich named after Barack Obama. The Barack Obama burger. Dude, there's just a bunch of like rednecks in fucking Mississippi or whatever that's like, God damn it, more free stuff for everybody. They're giving out these Obama burgers.
The Obama burgers. They come with no bell peppers to honor his Nobel Prize.
No bell peppers.
Most burgers don't have bell peppers. Shut up. Fuck off.
It's so funny, though. Honky Donkey is a hilarious. And it's not donkey like Donkey. It's Donky. So honky, Honky, and then donkey. Honky Donkey. Come on down to Honky Donkey and get your Anne Frank burger.
I'm disassociating right now.
It's
I'll
such
come back.
Funny name for a fucking restaurant. We got to do a little Mike Lindell check-in.
Pillows.
Yeah, dude. He's in. I mean, I'm sure that you've heard he's in hot water.
I have not heard.
Yeah. So he's been dealing with a lot of lawsuits, stuff of that nature, due to him saying that the election was stolen, which you're not allowed to do, apparently. I thought this was a free country. Turns out I was wrong. No, Mike Lindell, obviously a maniac, genius pillow inventor, but otherwise maniac. He's been liquidating a bunch of stuff in his factories, so like you can go on and buy like a MyPillow delivery truck now, because it's getting pretty serious. He's got a $1.3 billion defamation lawsuit.
We should buy one of those trucks and throw a Don't Tell in it.
It's a mobile Don't Tell. Everybody, dude, it's like the middle of people's sets. You're like turning, they're like fucking slamming up against a wall.
Yeah, while we're driving.
Yeah,
that's great.
No, so he basically he had an election crime summit. So he's done this before, where he'll have a big cybersecurity summit. And it's terrible. Like every time it happens, it's like it fucking. You know, they accidentally disprove all the stuff that he's saying or something like that. Like it never.
I need two things to sleep at night.
Yeah, because he's
a wonderful pillow, and the knowledge that my country is safe from China.
So he legitimately believes all this stuff because he clearly isn't even doing a good job of like fixing the data that he allegedly has to like proving his point. You know what I mean? And so he did this cyber summit, but he fucked up the beginning of it and accidentally played a clip of Jimmy Kimmel to everybody. So he accidentally, there's no video of it that I could find that would be, well, actually, I found one.
This historical election summit is so important that it's being broadcast around the world in 85 languages on frankspeech.com.
Frankspeech.com is his
this
TV
election
website.
Summit is not going to be about more evidence. We have enough evidence. Evidence has been the easy part. This summit is all about hope and the plan to secure our elections immediately.
Oh, I like the cross.
I want you to watch this video and see if y'all remember this.
Yep. It's pretty crazy.
They're attacking his power grid.
No, this is the wrong one. This is the wrong one. Hold on. Well, that's coming. The Rose Garden speech.
So,
God gave us.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but Mike Lindell went on Jimmy Kimmel a while back. It was a while back. And it's one of the most cringe things ever because it's like, first of all, dude, like, I feel like Jimmy Kimmel isn't really the right space to be addressing Mike Lindell. You know what I mean? But they like make fun of him.
You don't think the
or
guy
whatever.
from the Man Show knows how to delicately handle?
No, I don't. Ironically enough, I don't. But I just it was a weird like television moment because if you watch that interview and you don't really know anything about Mike Lindell, you would be like, well, this guy sounds like an idiot, but he seems like a likable guy because he is a likable person. Like when you see him and he's smiling, he's like, I just think that the election was stolen. And you're like, he really believes it. You know what I mean? But it felt a little like irresponsible to me when he did that.
Well,
but
of course.
It's all turned out kind of fine because Mike Lindell is like, I mean, he's losing everything that had given him any sort of power to begin with. Like he's like, the pillow business is like going under, dude. It's not going well. He's been selling pillows at like a 75% discount.
Man, go woke up broke.
Dude, yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah.
The corporations don't want us to hear what Mike Lindell has to say.
No, yeah, go woke, go broke, man. He's telling them like we need to be woke to the election fraud and the election stealing, and I want to stay asleep on my beautiful My Pillow.
Dude, he did this interview though because this is all sort of coming to a head really soon for him with this lawsuit and stuff. And he kept referring to My Cousin Vinny. He keeps talking about a My Cousin Vinny scenario where he somehow like gets out of trouble in this lawsuit because somebody comes in and like is like, haha, and actually you are the murderer. And like everything's great. But he's just so disconnected from reality and such a maniac that we got to check in on him every once in a while on the Jake and Off podcast.
Makes sense to me.
We got to see what he's up to.
We got to see where the Mike Lindell story goes. He's the Forrest Gump of our times.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. There's another lawsuit that's going on, and I actually... I don't want to toot my own horn, but I talked about how these people should be sued a long time ago on this podcast. I certainly wasn't the first, but I did say that Paris Hilton should be sued for going on Jimmy Fallon.
Talking about NFTs?
And promoting Bored Apes. Yeah, because it's fucked up, and now all those people are getting sued.
Potato Boy.
I did. I was like, these, like, Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton should be, I think that I said they should be, like, fined or maybe arrested or something like that. But, like, I was being hyperbolic. But obviously, this is, like, a legitimate lawsuit because these people now are realizing that they got fucked over by the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
What?
I wonder.
They did?
Who could have seen that coming, man? Can you believe it?
Whoa.
Yeah. So they are...
this is a scandal.
Yeah, they're suing Sotheby's, which is the auction house that auctioned off some of the more expensive Bored Apes. You know, and honestly, like, what they're saying is that Sotheby's doing that gave these things...
an air of legitimacy.
An air of legitimacy, and that led to them sort of being deceived about the value of these Bored Apes. I got to be honest with you. I think that is as much as I want all of these places to be held accountable for what they did, I don't know how well received this sort of argument is going to be because there was so many people saying that these were a bad idea.
That's what
my guess is that there are a lot of people in this lawsuit that they will be able to go and find through discovery instances where people were trying to say, hey, you shouldn't do this.
This is a scam, yeah.
And they were telling them, no, it's legit, like da-da-da-da-da. And if that is the case, what that actually means is that you were fully bought in too. And you were also like just as aware of all the
and kind of a part of the scam. That's the whole thing. That's where the argument kind of falls apart to me.
Yeah.
Is that ultimately, if you go into any of these fucking like crypto groups online on Reddit or Facebook or whatever, and look at the way they talk, like they know that they're trying to manipulate people into thinking that their coin that they're invested in has more value than it does. Like, so it's this kind of thing where they want to get in on it at a level where they can make money by tricking other people into getting in on it until they get off. You know what I mean? It's like, so I just have a hard time feeling bad for people who lost a game that they kind of willingly participated in. It feels like I really don't see like a great argument. There was such a cultural fucking like swell of people being like, this is a scam. There is no real value to this.
Yeah, I think that what what I would say is that in a just world, we would be able to hold like I think that people like Paris Hilton and Jimmy Fallon and FTX, like those sorts of companies, whatever these trading sites that allowed this sort of stuff to get legitimized, knowing that it was a house of cards and that it could collapse at any second. Like I think that those people should face criminal, like some sort of like criminal action, whether that's and they will. Likely, probably not Paris Hilton, but certainly the folks that ran FTX are experiencing that right now with that guy getting arrested.
Right.
And stuff.
I just wonder, like,
but I guess what I'm saying is like there are a lot of people that are probably like, we're not like the vocal sort of folks that we all saw online that were so annoying and like, I fucking like love this shit, like da da da. Like there were a lot of people that got tricked into this thinking that it was a new legitimate investment, and that's fucked up. I do think that they're stupid, and I do think that it's like that is ignorant and by the rules that we like all play by. Yes, like it's like tough shit, dude. But in my ideal world, these people would be able to be held accountable.
I hear what you're saying. I personally just think that like there are very few legitimate investments that are like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I don't see what is that significantly different between like buying GameStop stocks to like inflate it, like then and doing weird shit like that. It just feels like so detached from any reality, like the way that people invest. It's all just playing the game of like the market. And it's so like, and it feels like, it just feels like a casino that gambles with our economy that anyone can kind of buy into. And it just feels like crypto was all just an extension of that same kind of like farcical, like system. I don't feel like people that are invested in Bed Bath & Beyond or whatever the fuck, or have 401ks, I don't even fucking care if their shit goes down. Oh, did it turn out that nobody wants to go buy pillows at a brick and mortar store anymore because they can get everything on Amazon?
Well, the Bed Bath & Beyond, that's like shit. That's like more like GameStop
I'm
stuff.
kind of like mixing metaphors
but
and stuff.
I think that like the idea that like not caring about people's 401ks or whatever, that's like, I mean, like, I think that 401ks are bad.
What I'm saying is,
but that's
it's not that I don't care when people lose money. From legitimate quote unquote investments. But what I'm saying is that like the fact that we already have this fucking system where instead of just funding people's retirement with like tax money or whatever the fuck it is, we have their money wrapped up into the value of KFC and taco or whatever the fuck.
Of course, agree with that. But I guess like the reality though is like these people didn't create this, like so they don't deserve to like suffer.
I'm just saying,
you know what I mean? Some of them do. Some of them for sure do. Like if you were like a dude that was on Twitter being like, buy these fucking like Bored Apes, like da 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 da.
Like Seth Green.
Like,
Seth Green should maybe face
Paris
some consequences.
Hilton. Like you're willfully participating in this
and using like a large platform that you have to do so, and talking about, oh, I'm gonna produce I'm gonna produce a show with my Bored Ape.
On late night TV, they were talking about Bored Apes and encouraging people to buy them.
Yeah.
That's where that's the clip that I played long ago on this podcast.
No, I've seen it.
With Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton. It's insane. If you're doing shit like that and roping people into this scam, of course I think that you deserve to lose all of your money.
It really bums me out.
And I don't feel bad for
the way that Jimmy Fallon is.
Yeah,
I just because he just seems kind of fucking stupid, and like he just wants to say yes to everything.
Yeah,
I don't feel like what he did was like a person willfully trying to manipulate a bunch of people.
Right.
I think he got manipulated, and in doing so, is what it seems like to me.
That's the whole thing about NFTs was that if you bought in, then your interest then became getting other people to buy in.
That's the whole
yeah.
It is. It's
but the way that the scam works is that there has to be. It's a Ponzi scheme, right? Like the money runs out eventually, and like now it's all the people who bought this shit like after it popped, like after it became, this sensational thing. Like all these people bought in, because they're seeing Paris Hilton go on fucking Jimmy Fallon, and they're talking about how they own Bored Apes and like join the yacht club and all this shit, and they don't fucking know, dude. They're just like, oh well, like, I barely have any money, but like I would love to get rich quick. Like this seems like a great idea.
Yeah,
and it's just like pathetic, dude. That people like.
I just wish I don't have any real way to fucking deal with the feelings that causes in me, because it's just like I feel bad for everyone all the time in the world for some reason or another, but it's so hard for me to really like get fired up about Ponzi schemes specifically, like get rich quick shit, because anybody participating in that knows they are taking a risk. Or should know a little bit, like you have to be really pretty fucking thoughtless to just be like, no way anything bad could happen here, like even if you're kind of all in, you still have to know like the value can just fall apart a little bit at some point, or it might not ever hit the level you want, or
there's an inherent risk that comes with investing in anything, and I don't think that it's like wrong to say that like these people should have known that this was like an inherent risk, but I think there was a little bit of like misrepresentation on like how legitimate it was.
Yeah, the misrepresentation thing,
and a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's tied to cryptocurrency, which is also illegitimate, and it's not a very like stable thing for something to be tied to.
No.
But the way that media covers that kind of stuff gives it a lot of legitimacy.
Right. Because
you know what I mean? Bitcoin has become this, it's not a currency that you can use, but it's become this legitimate investment and like an important part of people's portfolios now.
I feel like the way that like stuff like that happens is like news outlets will not fully understand a thing, and they'll just be like, well, certainly if this ends up being a big deal, we should report about it. And then like they're just talking about Bitcoin now because it sounds like the future. It's like 2010 and there's money on the computer now, and and so like but then we're like 12 years deep on Bitcoin, and it's like it still has like no real applications outside of buying illegal shit on the internet.
Well, I think that like I think that Bitcoin at the beginning, like that sort of was the coverage, but I think at a certain point it became that like they were now laundering it as a means of legitimate investment, because there are a lot of interest that like become aligned there, right? Like with these like market interests, and like you think about like the way that they talk about it on CNBC or something, we're like, now Bitcoin's on the fucking ticker, dude. Like because they have given it the press and the time of day. Look at this, is minting all these millionaires and stuff like that, and it could be you if you just took your hard-earned money and put it into this computer
10 years ago.
10 years ago, exactly. So I don't know. I just wanted to fucking bring this up and gloat a little bit, because I said that Paris Hilton should get sued, and Jimmy Fallon isn't getting sued yet, but Justin Bieber is, and hopefully he's next. Pretty fucked up, I guess, but sad.
Yeah, dude,
sad.
Now I'm a Bored Ape.
Yeah. Did you hear about the lady that got catfished by the A person pretending to be the star from Stranger Things.
I did. Yeah, I did hear about that.
It's pretty fucked up.
God.
So here, it's actually part of a YouTube video, and like we won't watch this whole thing, of course, but this is it's catfished on YouTube, and essentially this lady got tricked into thinking that one of the stars of Stranger Things was her boyfriend.
I am obsessed with Stranger Things.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, when I tallied it all up, it was $10,000-ish. I told my ex-husband, I said, listen, I said, it's not working out. I said, you're not letting me be me. You're not letting me be free. I said, I think you need to leave. So he left. Within 2 months, he was gone.
This is pretty rough. This lady left her husband.
No, I know she left her husband. They have children.
Yeah. Yep.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's pretty stupid. But see, people can get scammed so easily, dude.
I don't feel bad for
Dumb
her.
people, we have to protect them, dude.
I know.
That's the thing. It's like easy for me to sit here and be like, yeah, obviously NFTs are a complete scam, but the reality is that we're smarter than probably.
This is farther than NFT.
Yeah. Oh,
to
this
think
is like
that,
way worse.
An actor from Stranger Things started DMing you, honey. Of all the people in the world,
honey.
like this. This woman. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a level of of delusion and willful like delusion that I just have no sympathy for. I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? It's an actor that you've never met, and even if it was the real guy, you're gonna leave your family and give him $10,000?
Also, why would he need $10,000 from you? He's on Stranger Things, dude.
Yes.
Like at least when people get scammed, where they're like, "I am a soldier and I need money to get home from Afghanistan" or whatever.
That tracks. They would need money to get home.
I mean, they still wouldn't need money to get home, but like at least soldiers are like you're like, yeah, they.
I
probably
need
don't
money
get
for
paid
Stranger
enough.
Things too.
Yeah.
They're giving me a spinoff, but I have to raise my own funds.
Dude, she's just like...
I just don't. I feel no sympathy for this woman. This is a bad person.
No. And this is even harder for me to feel sympathy for. And they like put a face to it. They're like, this is the lady.
Like, idiot. Moron. Bad mom. Bad mom.
Dude, she fucking like...
That's a fucking terrible fucking thing to do as a mom.
Dude, but it does say here that the catfish gave her an ultimatum that she had to choose between him or her husband. And it's just like, dude, why are you doing that as a catfish? Like, if you're just trying to get money out of this lady.
That's hilarious. I don't care. I think he's... I think I'm on the catfisher's side. I am fully on the catfisher's side. He revealed the nature of this woman to her loved ones, and now her ex-husband is free and her children are free to understand that this woman is a moron and that maybe they should not listen to her or look up to her as much as they could have.
Dude, what do you even say? Like, how would you tell that? Like, how would you tell your mom, like, yeah, I left my entire family because because a lady said she was Elaine from Seinfeld. Tricked me into thinking, you know what I mean? Like what do you even say? Like, she'd be like, "Well, Dad, you're never."
She said I was sponge-worthy. It's just fucking. Dude. I feel zero sympathy for this woman. It's been. We got the internet for several years now.
Yeah.
I've had Facebook since 2007.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's 16 years of social media, 16 years to learn and to see and to witness all of the fucking insane fake people that fucking DM you this weirdest shit.
It's crazy how many bots send you messages on.
How in the world are
websites.
you still getting tricked by this shit if you're under the age of fucking 80? I don't understand.
It's really funny.
No sympathy.
It's really funny.
Thirstiest woman of all time.
I think the only way that it would be funnier is if the catfish person had actually pretended to be the character from Stranger Things.
He did cosplay, and she
no, that's the profile is just for the character from Stranger Things or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? They don't even try to
the actor. He's the character.
It's the guy from Stranger Things. It's like, that's Steve. Or
that is what she's doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what is happening in her brain, is that she's seen this pretty person being brave in the context of a fucking kids show, and she's like, I'm wet. It's disgusting. He could be a total piece of shit in real life.
Yeah, dude.
And the evidence is there. $10,000 of your fucking money at the end of your marriage.
Yeah, dude.
You don't end your marriage for somebody you've never met.
Right.
I don't feel sympathy for this person.
Especially if he has Stranger Things money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess what is so... And so he said that his girlfriend...
So he also has a girlfriend.
His girlfriend
she's wrecking 2 homes.
Was in control of his bank accounts. That's what he told her, and it's like, dude, why would his girlfriend?
She has a conservatorship, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I was fine, and then we got together, and she was like, I need to have control of your money, and a judge gave it to her. She took me to court, and a judge was like,
stranger things have happened. We joke.
Isn't it so crazy though, dude? It's like I was baffled when I read the story, because it really is like the equivalent of when somebody is like, yes, I'm a soldier and I'm stuck in the Middle East and I love you.
It's like those DMs you see. It'll be like, hi, this is Drake. I need $100 to this Cash App immediately. And then it'll send another message that'll just be like, God's plan.
Dude, what I want to know too is her ex-husband has to, I feel like, gotta get custody of those kids.
Oh,
this lady can't raise her kids.
No.
They'll grow up to be fools.
She's a child.
Yeah.
That's literally the behavior of a 12-year-old. It's a terribly fucking immature view of the world and of reality. It's just a disconnect on a level that is irresponsible to parent children.
Yeah. Well, and dude, my guess is that
$10,000 is that's like a third of what I make in a year. You know what I mean? And you're gonna throw that away because somebody tricked you with a picture of the guy from Stranger Things. Literally a JPEG. This is a JPEG deep.
Yes, dude. No, it's like they were saying that the Catfish crew just did a reverse image search and were able to find a bunch of profiles with the same stuff, fake, because it's a famous guy. He's like a famous dude. So it's really funny because, Michaela, a single mom from Kentucky, shared her story to the YouTube series, and she said she met him online in a forum for artists. He told her he was Dacre Montgomery. I don't know how to say this guy's name. And she was skeptical of his identity at first.
She was?
Yeah, but they just really hit it off. That's what she said. This is a quote. Me and him just really hit it off. But of course, I'm suspicious from the get-go until he starts doing things that make me believe that he is who he is. She eventually believed it really was Dacre. I don't know how to say this guy's name. Dacre. After he told her to specifically watch Stranger Things Season 4, Episode 4, before the season premiered. And that episode is called Dear Billy, and it features Dacre's character return.
Yeah, the big shows upload IMDb's ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I know.
He could have
really
just gone
funny.
and looked at the fucking episode guide.
And she said, and he showed up in that episode, and I was like, well, who else would know that?
IMDb. Jeff Bezos, Amazon. It's an app on your phone if you want it to be.
This is also really funny. She also said the scammer would send her poems that matched Daiquiri's writing style from his 2020 poetry book, DKMH, Poems by Daiquiri Montgomery. And it's like, dude,
Daiquiri.
You're also outing yourself for buying a fucking poetry book from one
by
of the
an actor.
By an actor in Stranger Things, you fucking loser, dude.
Dude, I don't have any patience for that level of thirst.
Yeah,
in
dude.
any direction. It's just not. Just fucking grow up. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, there's no celebrity that you think you could get scammed by a scammer.
no.
You don't think so, dude?
Okay, Mary Steenburgen, the mom from Step Brothers. She could, if somebody.
Somebody could scam you
Yeah.
as her.
Yeah.
That's so funny that they would have to pose as an older lady to be able to scam you.
Yeah, and like not work the computer very well.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this makes sense. She's in her 60s.
Yeah, I don't think that there's really any. There's just like no version of.
Well, no, because it's like I am fucking mature enough to know that like I'm not gonna just know that I like being around a person until I meet that person.
And I also don't have high enough self-esteem to be like, oh, this famous person is messaging me.
Right.
Like that would make me immediately suspicious. I'd be like, why is Mary Steenburgen messaging me? She could have any guy in the world.
She already has Ted Danson.
But you know what I'm saying though? Like,
yeah, dude.
It just, like, would be
look,
like,
I know this is not nice. Like, I don't want to all out body shame this person. But look at her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she is a very average looking human being.
Yeah.
And this guy literally lives in LA and is one of the hottest people in the world.
Yeah.
One of the most like well paid and like thirsted after people in the world.
Yeah.
And you're like, we just really hit it off on Discord.
Well, and I think that that's because of all the princess propaganda. I'm just joking. Like some Jordan Peterson take.
Yeah, you ever see Princess
all these
Diaries?
women that they're princesses.
Yeah, because she's as hot as Anne Hathaway at the beginning of Princess Diaries. I'll give her that.
Oh, that's such a.
They
that's a
they
good
need to get her
roast.
glasses off. They need to do stuff to her hair. She'd be really hot then. But as she is, there's no way she's pulling Billy.
Dude, it's just crazy to me. Like on an artist forum, like why would this guy be on an artist forum?
He's a poet.
Yeah, but he's a famous
He's a poet.
actor though.
Poet. Stranger things have happened. We're having fun.
Dude, I do think that it's like I just think that a big part of it is like so many people have like delusional
Parasocial
like,
relationships with
Well, and no, but I also just mean like delusions of grandeur about themselves, like
Oh, well, for
about
sure,
how, like-
because if they face the reality of their lives, they would have to grapple with the evils of capitalism and their place within
Right.
that machine.
Well, even just simpler than that, like this lady, like clearly was probably like not very happy in her marriage or like her role as a mother or whatever, and is just looking for like any
anyway,
way out, and like it
go back to school.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it
Fucking
manifested itself in
Having
this
an affair
instance.
at work.
Yeah, start stand-up comedy.
yeah, dude. There's so many fucking things you could do to get out of your fucking marriage.
Have an affair at work is like somehow better than giving
$10,000 to a
of your
JPEG.
money.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's
Dude,
diaper
guy
money,
pretending
okay?
to be from Stranger Things. That's so
God.
funny. Yeah, dude. How do you even like like your kids are gonna grow up one day and like
just understand this about you.
Google your like just like my mom.
Yeah.
She made national news because she thought that she was in love with an actor on the internet.
Yeah.
He was a poet.
Yeah, I can't imagine these children having a healthy relationship with like
Stranger Things
or their mom. They can't watch Stranger Things
yeah.
anymore. No. Because
they ruined Stranger Things.
Well, yeah, because if they ever watch it with her, they're gonna smell all the, the must. The must.
Yeah, she's gonna be sliding out of her chair, dude.
Stranger Things have happened.
Yeah,
we're having fun.
Yeah, she's gonna be sliding out of her chair, being like, "Oh, I'd give another 10,000 if it were real." I'd give another 10K for it to be real. Dakra.
Dasra.
Dasra.
Decree.
Daiquiri. It's gotta be. How do you say? I gotta look it up. Daiquiri.
Yeah, I just
pronunciation.
No, I have no patience or sympathy for this woman in this situation. I just think it's too late in the internet game. We should know better. You know what I mean? You are an adult. You've had the internet. Okay, so it's Acre with a D.
Yeah, Dacre.
He's
Yeah.
gonna dake her on a ride. You know what I mean? He's gonna dake her for $10,000. You know what I mean? He's gonna dake her for a marriage and a kid.
Yeah,
and
dude.
And a book
Those
of poems.
poor kids will never get to enjoy Stranger Things.
And they'll never respect their mom.
No.
As soon as they're old enough to understand what the fuck happened, they're just gonna be like, "How dare you?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They'd be like, "That's why you left, Dad."
Yeah.
You left Dad because you thought
Dad wins every fight now. Dad wins every Christmas. Dad wins every. You know what I mean? Like, you just gave your kids to Dad.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine like the amount of jokes I would be making if I were that dude. I'd be like, "Hey, how's your mom's new boyfriend?" "Hey, have you guys met Mom's new boyfriend yet? Make sure you tell him I said hey."
Tell him to dake her out to the ball game. We're having fun. What a fucking crazy fucking
dude. Oh man.
I just think
either that or that guy's got to be supremely
if this woman had her
depressed.
health care paid for by the government that she already gives her tax money to, and had her housing costs covered by the government, and had food paid for, and didn't have to worry about all this stuff, then maybe she wouldn't need such an escapist fantasy from the life that she had, because it wouldn't be quite a nightmare enough to be delusional enough to believe that Dacre wants her.
Yeah. Yep. Or maybe he does. Have you ever considered that?
Maybe it is still
Have
Dacre.
you ever considered that this will be the thing that gets his attention and then they will date? That would be really funny.
That would be... No, dude, if I'm this guy... what do you do?
You hear about it on the news,
what's
and
the
then
funniest thing?
I feel like you take her husband out to dinner or something. You
Okay,
start dating her husband and fucking her husband.
Yeah, you literally hook up with her ex-husband and like send pics.
Yeah,
together.
and pay for the kids' college or something if you can afford it.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
maybe you give some money to the kids,
and then they can actually watch Stranger Things.
You
and
contribute
feel
to
good
the
about
legal
it.
defense for him getting custody over the kids.
Yeah, exactly. That
He's like,
lady cannot raise those.
This
kids.
is to teach you a lesson.
Yeah. Hello, it's me, Dacre.
I'm writing a poem about your husband's supple asshole.
Here, I wrote you this poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. You are dumb, and I don't love you. Put that in my little fucking book. He calls his own book a little fucking book.
Yeah, his next book.
How about I put that in my little fucking book?
He knew things that you would have to be Dacre to know, like that his next poetry book was going to be called My Little Fucking Book.
Dude, to be like, she's like, he sent me a picture of his penis.
It said property of Dacre on it.
He put a picture of the newspaper from that day right next to it. But his face wasn't in it. No. But it looked like it was his. It was like the same skin tone, but a little darker because they're all a little darker than the rest of the skin for some reason. Dude, that actually is funny though that you bring it up about how that lady probably would be better off if she, could go to like a counselor or something of some kind. But did you hear that? Have you heard that country song that like everybody?
Yeah, I know about it.
You heard about it already? It's so stupid. We don't have to talk about it very long, but I just wanted to point out like how. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this guy Oliver Anthony made this country song, and it pretty much instantly became like a right-wing hit. And in the song, he references
a libertarian hit. Like, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't. It's not a strictly like right wing. It's not a MAGA song. It's like a little more ambiguous than that.
I actually I kind of like disagree with that, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
Because and you can go and read like the comments of people that are commenting on this song and being like, hell yeah, because of course the song is about politicians. And how
Isn't it called Richmond up north of Richmond?
Richmond, north of Richmond. And the song is about politicians and the ways that they abuse their power and hurt everybody and all that stuff. But then there is an entire verse. I mean, not an entire verse, but there is a good portion of the song that is bashing people that are on food stamps for, being obese and all this stuff.
Yeah, try that in a small town.
Yeah, exactly. And, I guess my problem with it, right, is like, you know what? I understand that there are a lot of people out there that are, what I consider to be like misguided about the way that food stamp programs work and welfare and stuff like that. And so I can understand that. But what bothers me and what I find so insulting about it is that people are wanting to pretend that this isn't a political song.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely political.
It's like, dude, the idea that these social
I just think it's incoherent in it how it's political.
No,
like
100%.
I don't think he has a coherent political ideology.
I think that he missed the mark, and I don't think that I don't think that he necessarily intended to do what he did.
Right.
Maybe, I think that he's probably just like a dude who had this sort of level of fame foisted on him out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, he's a fairly talented guy. Like, the songwriting's not bad.
He has a great voice.
He's a great voice, yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, the idea that this isn't a political song is just, like, sort of, I think it's, like, insulting to even pretend that it isn't. It's like, dude, the idea that these social insurance programs should be, like, should be sunset or cut or subject to, like, more oversight and all this stuff, that is a part of the Republican Party's plank.
Yeah.
It's a platform that they use in their party. And so when you say in a song that, might have other
salient
points about those in power, and then you tie that in with also this big piece of the Republican Party's platform, it's inherently political.
Yeah,
and I think that,
and I certainly agree. And as soon as I heard the line, I knew what people were upset about. Like, I listened to the song, but I was like, oh, all right, great. So he's a moron. You know what I mean? It's just like he just is an idiot, and he's
I don't even necessarily think that it means
not
for
idiot,
sure that
but he's just like
moron.
He's got an incoherent ideology. Like, he's just not an educated person. I don't feel.
For me, what it is,
he feels like educated by memes. You know what I mean? It's like which I feel like a lot of people on the right, or quote unquote the center, are people who get a lot of their fucking opinions from memes shared by their friends and family.
And that's another sort of big problem that I have with the way that people are framing the discussion about this song, is that he's like, they're being like, well, a lot of people, even if you don't agree with it, even if I don't agree with it, a lot of people believe that. And it's like, well, dude, that doesn't mean shit to me. Like, I don't care if a lot of people believe that. A lot of people are wrong. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, I don't necessarily think that he anticipated it to be this way, of course.
I don't think he was trying to be controversial.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just a dude who wrote a song that people picked up on, and I don't think that it is necessarily wrong to like the song or whatever.
Sure.
As long as you know that like that shit is just like not true, then it's like whatever. You can listen to a song and enjoy it,
right,
and not agree with everything in it. And it's not like we know that this dude is like some huge piece of shit or something.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think the idea that it's not inherently political is
or that people's enjoyment of it or the viral element of it isn't
it's
political.
Another way to launder the idea that like these right-wing ideas are actually centrist ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It skews the actual like
My thing on food stamps is that anytime I see anybody complaining about other people on food stamps,
it's like you should just apply for food
you
stamps.
should just be on
dude.
food stamps. Yeah, if you're jealous of people on food stamps, you should have food stamps.
Right,
and if you don't qualify, then that's the problem.
No.
The problem is that you don't also qualify.
And I think that there's something to be said about the psychology of, you know, looking down on people for
getting help.
You know, for getting help from entitlement programs that they pay money for.
Or period.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, or period, but also like this is why we pay taxes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like and you know, God forbid some of our tax money go towards
anything other than making Iraqi children into skeletons.
Actually feeding,
oh, I know. Isn't that terrible that instead a black child might get fucking formula now?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, and dude, it goes beyond the pale of like this guy giving this sort of like uninformed opinion when people like Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and fucking, you know, Daily Wire starts sharing your song. It's like, you know, you'd think that would make people
second guess
themselves. And I want to like make sure that I read this because I feel like it would be unfair. The dude addressed the lines and the lyrics in an Instagram post, and I want to make sure that I read it because I also take issue with what he said.
Real quick, I've drank far too much aesthetic water during this podcast.
Yeah, go piss. Dude.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. I gotta look this up anyways.
That Stranger Things lady again. I was just thinking about that Stranger Things lady again, and I was thinking, do you think she feels too stupid to masturbate to him anymore? You know what I mean? Like she pulls up the fan-made like music video on YouTube of Billy's best moments, and she's like got the Hitachi, and she's just like, oh, fuck, I'm an idiot.
Probably, dude. I sure would. Okay, so I wanted to read the lyrics that people are that are the controversial ones.
Right.
So this is in the second verse. He says, "I wish politicians would look out for minors, like as in coal miners, and not just minors as in underage children, on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milk and welfare." And then in the next verse, he says, "Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bag of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground because all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down." So, more or less, he's saying that obese people on welfare are responsible for young men working themselves to death in this country, which is like just incoherent. You know what I mean? Exactly like what you said. But here's his explainer. This is to shed more light onto the lyrics in his own words.
His explainer is attached to a picture of a fudge round?
Yes. And he said, our government likes to throw money at problems without conceptualizing real solutions that connect to the individuals involved. So that's the first sentence. The second sentence, the lyrics contrast that some are left without any and others are only left with the option of living on junk food. That's not what the lyrics contrast.
No, and that's not what you said.
And it's not what he said. And then he said, meanwhile, our farming industry has been corporatized and sold out. Where was that, dude?
Yeah.
Talk about the corporate farming. I would have loved to hear a verse about the corporate farming.
Yeah.
Food is entirely too expensive, especially in a nation with abundant farmland. I wonder why.
Which part of the lyrics are these?
Yeah. In politics, it's all about keeping people who are dependent. What I would love to hear is what this guy's idea is for helping people who have no food.
Yeah.
What his idea of helping people like get food is.
Yeah. I think that people who have been effectively talked into thinking that social programs are bad, that social welfare programs are bad, people who have bought that initial baseline, you know,
it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people, and not just on the right too. I feel like that's important to.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Too. It's a lot of people seem to think that like you should have to provide for yourself everything.
Yeah.
To some extent or another, and it's like there are a couple of things that are absolute necessities that shouldn't be, you know, monetized in any way.
Yeah.
And like it shouldn't be hard to convince each other, hey, maybe every single person that lives in our country should be able to go to a doctor, eat, and have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
Like the bare minimum, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
And so if you buy that initial fucking idea that social welfare programs are bad, then like I feel like you kind of just like lose any ground incredibly coming up with real solutions.
Well, and I would actually even like take this a step further, because I agree with exactly what you're saying, but this is why I wanted to talk about this. Because when these sorts of issues come up, right, when we talk about welfare programs and social insurance programs and stuff like that, a lot of people start, and again, not just Republicans or people on the right, but people on the left, it is the natural starting point is assumed to be that it is better to be independent from the government than dependent on the government. And I reject that outright.
Same.
Because my thinking is that it is impossible for anyone in this country to be independent of government.
Or independent, like, period, is
even
almost
just from
impossible.
Community. Yeah.
Independent from internet providers.
Yeah.
Independent from fucking cell phone providers. Independent from realtors.
Well, and even,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there is no... I mean, even if somebody lives on property that's out in the middle of nowhere, they don't have contact, they don't have running water or electricity or whatever, they still have a deed from the government that says that they own that property.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
you depend on the government's legitimacy for this to belong to you.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And so I think that that's like just part of this that I really wanted to shine a light on, because I do think that there's a lot of people out there that even though they agree with like what you and I are saying, right? And they would like say as much that they agree with that, they can't articulate it because the underlying assumption that a lot of this debate comes from is that
relying on government is inherently bad. Right,
that it is bad to rely on the government. And so you just have to be cognizant of that when you're talking to people about it.
Yeah.
And you have to like recognize that and just, you know, reject that outright.
Right.
If you want to have
any
sort
and it's
of
just like country
beneficial
music needs to get their messaging straight, because Zach Brown Band, you know, he was like, the soldiers died so that we could have our chicken fried. And like, you know, now this guy's saying fatties aren't good. It's like, you know what I mean? But that's why they died, so we can be fat. You know what I mean? Fuck you, country music. Get it together. Keep it consistent.
No, and I actually I really like country music.
Zach Brown Band said we don't have to sacrifice.
There's some
so I should be able to eat fudge rounds.
There's some contemporary country music that I really like. I really like Sturgill Simpson,
Lil Nas X,
Tyler Childers, Lil Nas X, Billy Ray Cyrus. But yeah, that is we've made it to the end of the episode, dude. So
that's what you think. All right, get ready for Boner Nation. This is the sub episode.
Do you have anything to plug?
Boner Nation. Yeah, so Tuesday this comes out?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so come to the Emerald in West Bottom, September 3rd. It's a Sunday before Labor Day, so it's 3-day weekend. It's like a bonus Sunday. It's great. Come out, see the show Spin and Grin at the Emerald. It'll be me, Anna Mae Smith, Casey Famous, Steven Taylor, Aaron Scarborough, Jay Petty, performing stand-up in front of a live band. a live band that is going to play genres based on a roulette wheel that gets spun a couple times during our set. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be weird. I've been assured that the musicians in the band are like really fucking talented, so I'm really excited.
That's sick. That'll be fun.
Ticket link in my bio.
Yeah. What's your Instagram handle?
At Evan C. Goldt.
Yeah. And as always, you can like and subscribe to this, please.
Also, help me break 1K followees.
Yeah. Give Evan some follows. Give this some likes. Give it some subscribes. Share it with your friends.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Share with your friends.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram at jakeand.off.podcast.
Call your mom. Call your mom and be like, Mom, so I listened. There's this podcast called Jake and Off.
Yeah, and it's not about porn.
It's not about porn. Sometimes it is about porn.
Yeah.
They talked about like Bart Simpson porn one time, but it was good. It was a good episode. Yeah. And Mom...
They did come down in favor of no Bart Simpson porn.
Yeah. I want that to be clear,
Just
Mom.
so you know, they were on the right side of history about the Bart Simpson porn. They said nay. But also send us an email to jakeand.off.podcast@gmail.com. And I love you. I love you so much. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Goodbye.